Welcome, Eternal Gunslingers. We haven't done a deck tech in a little while, and I apologize for that. It's been real busy. We're coming up on the holidays, lots of new stuff going out, tons of new podcast episodes, and lots of streams, and then just my regular work. So it's been a little bit tough to keep up with these, but we have new content, and I'm really excited to bring some new cards to you. So I've got a deck here that I'm testing out, and there's a lot of very wacky new stuff inside of the most recent expansion, Promises by Firelight, which I'm so down for. A lot of the stuff isn't necessarily amazing. It's not particularly good, a lot of it, but it's really wacky, and I love that. I'm so excited to play around with a lot of these. And in the keeping of that, I'm doing something that's maybe not as wacky, but something that I think a lot of people have tried to do in the past, and we're getting a little bit more support for it. We've been getting some more creature type support, and one of those creatures are Minotaurs. So we're going to do Master Harga, and the reason why it's Master is because it's based on Mastery. So if you haven't seen it, from the new set we have Harga Armory Warden, which it gets +1 for each of your other Minotaurs. We'll just do it this way because it's a little bit better. And when you play another unit, it deals its attack in damage to Harga. And then at Mastery 8, your Minotaurs get +2/+2 and killer. So it's a 0/8, just a really good wall. And then the idea is, because when you play another unit, it deals its damage to this, you can use things like Lifesteal and gain yourself a little bit of incidental life, or what I've decided to do, and use things that have Mastery. So we've got like Intrepid Longhorn, so it'll already deal 3 damage when it comes into play to Harga. If we have a Harga out, like obviously this is dependent on us having Harga in play, but we'll be able to do like Intrepid Longhorn into Harga and be able to get 3 extra damage on it. We'll be able to Varret Kuro in training, so it will get 2 Mastery right off the start and only need to get 4. We'll be able to do that with Kuro, so it only needs to get 3. And now you can kind of understand the idea of what we're going for here. And then, of course, Harga itself, when it gets Mastery, will help all of our other Minotaurs, and we can just kind of chain things together. So that's the goal. We'll see how well it works. I've only done a little bit of testing with it. I like doing these kind of starts to just kind of look at what a deck could be like, and then think about what we could change around it and do with it after we've played a few games with it. Anyways, the cards we have here, we're going to be trying to be pretty aggressive. And obviously we need to play a lot of Minotaurs because we need them to work with Harga. So we're going to be doing Blackhall Warleader so that we can get the Inspire off on that and get a little bit of extra damage if we can get her down early. Surprisingly enough, Grodov Evangel, because it is in fact a Minotaur Cleric. And charge can be pretty good, especially if you get like Inspire off of Blackhall Warleader. I've had that happen a couple times. Or if you have like a Relentless Gorehorn follow-up when it's later in the game. It's also just a little bit of fixing. So it does, it's not amazing. I'm not going to say that this card's fantastic, but it fills a lot of small little roles that we need to have filled here, because we are trying to be an aggressive deck in 3 colors, which is a tough ask for us. Like, that's not a thing that you can do very easily. We've got the Intrepid Longhorn, like we talked about, and of course the Varret. Varret said that he wanted to be a cowboy when he was growing up, and people misunderstood. He wanted to be a cowboy. He's our honorary Minotaur in this deck. Him and Kuro. So we've got Varret here in training. We've got the Harga, as we've talked about. And then Hidden Road Smuggler, so we can go to the market. We've got the Kuro, because honestly, Kuro also seems insane. If you haven't seen this, it's a 3/3 quick draw. Our curses are fast. Not relevant for this particular deck. What is relevant is the Mastery 6, draw 3 units from your Void, so it'll be a nice early game aggressor because of the quick draw, and then obviously quite nasty in the late game when you're able to just pull back 3 units out of your Void and replay them and just kind of chain off that way. So Kuro is hopefully going to do some work. I wanted to try and mess with him. I don't think this is the best deck for him necessarily, but I just think that he's really powerful and I want to try and see what we can do with it. We have Copperhall Elite, because this has always been traditionally one of the better Minotaurs. It's just an obnoxious card to deal with. Really good stat line, 4/4 for 4. And then Aegis obviously is obnoxious, and Overwhelm helps out. So as it gets bigger because of Minotaur Platemaker, or Blackhall Warleader, or Relentless Gorehorn, then, it's just tougher and tougher for our opponent to actually stop it. They can't just chump block it. We have the Platemaker, and we have Relentless Gorehorn. I have 3 of each of these because I'm not sure which ones I would like more. They both are kind of finishers. Platemaker is a better way for us to use a bunch of extra power. So if we've got a bunch of extra mana, then we can use the twists, and it might be better that way. But Gorehorn is a more sudden, like, punch of energy, where if we've got a whole lot of Minotaurs out in play, we can break a start, a board stall, or, you know, just finish off a game really, really unexpectedly. Like, they'll try and race us, and then we'll just destroy the race because suddenly we get a free rally on all of our Minotaurs, right? And it's a permanent rally. It's all +2 attack forever, which is pretty useful. So I'm going to kind of test those out and see where we'd want to move those slots around. Maybe we don't want either of those. Maybe we want to go something like Tavrod. I just felt like Tavrod was a little too slow for this. We're not really playing any weapons. It is still very good with just Minotaurs, I'm sure. But I wanted to maybe go a little bit lower to the ground and see what we could do that way. Double Shadow, double Justice, is also a little bit tough. Like, I don't want to have too many hard color requirements. Ignore things, ignore our market. But I didn't want to have too many things in the main deck that had really harsh color requirements. So then we've obviously got Seek Power, and I wanted to make sure to get all of these units in, especially like Blackhall, Warleader, and Varret, stuff like that. We need to get the ability to just keep punching through, and we can do that either through pump spells, or I just decided to do, like, Desecrate, Slay, and then some stand-togethers as just protection from, you know, big blowouts like Malediction or Harsh Rule, all that kind of stuff. We've got some Seek Powers as our fixing, regular kind of crests and banners. You'll notice that we only have 2 crests each. We're not playing, like, 4 or 3 or anything like that. We're playing a lot more banners. That's just so that we have more undepleted power, because we are low to the ground. We're trying to be fairly aggressive. Like, we're not the most aggressive deck, but it's not slow, and we don't want to have, you know, this being played on turn 3, and then a Harga on 4, and then this on 5. We need to try and curve out a little bit faster than that, and put pressure on our opponents. We're only able to do that if we have undepleted power. So we're going to try and make our power work for 3 colors, but also be undepleted if we can. On top of that, then we've got our market, and these could definitely switch around, but I've got a couple of different things of Relic Hate that are flexible. So Banish being able to kill an enemy unit or a relic, and then of course Qirin Ascendant being a way to kill an enemy attachment, but also having mastery so that it can work with Harga. So we've got a little bit of flexibility there where we can do a couple different things. We've got Sword of Unity, because Sword of Unity breaks open board stalls real nicely, and it's just an incredible swing. I just wanted to try and put a Sword of Unity into something again. Xenan Temple. Killer is very good with any of the mastery things. So we've got the Xenan Initiation. It's good against any decks that are trying to use Void shenanigans, because you steal all the cards that go to the Void. That kind of thing. So Xenan Temple, always just very powerful. And then the real spice. We've got an Armory Dragonbane, which you might not have seen. It's from Flames' Alta, so it's not a new card. But it is a very fun card, and not one that's seen a lot of play. So it stops enemy dragons from being played. But the more important part is the summon. If any of your units have completed all of their mastery abilities, they get those effects 2 additional times, and then refresh their mastery so they can get them a 3rd. I have not been able to play with this, and I don't have an excuse for any other deck to ever have this. But if we're going to be doing Minotaurs and Mastery, how can I avoid Armory Dragonbane? It's just such a ridiculous card. And such a narrow one, but very powerful if we can ever make it happen. And that's kind of my goal. I don't even really care if we win games. I just want to Dragonbane at least one person, one time. Refresh like 1 or 2 Masteries and get in there. Alright, so that's the deck. I'm going to be trying to play it through 5 games, as you may know if you've been to my channel before, and we'll be back with those rounds in just a minute. Big shout out to all the people that support the channel. I do really appreciate it. All the patrons and all the subs that have made this possible for a while. It means a lot to me. I'm going to be trying to do a lot more videos going into the new year, because I have a regular job that is me doing wedding photography, and it was very, very busy. I'm getting close to finishing all the edits, so then I'll have a lot more free time, and I'll need a little more support, so I'm going to try and put out some more videos and make it worth your while. So I do really appreciate that. You can check out all of my stuff down below. There's lots of different ways to support me, like our inkgaming.com store, who have been wonderful supporters of my stream in the past, and I will be back with the rounds.